So today we're going to practice more with parallel and perpendicular lines. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. So we want, in this case, write an equation in slope-intercept form of one that is parallel to this line. So I'm going to pick my slope out of this line, and it's going to have the same slope. So the slope will be 2. I'm going to use that with this ordered pair to find my new b. So 6 equals 2 times 4 plus b. 6 equals 8 plus b. So I need a minus 8 from each side. And get negative 2 equal b. So I can write my equation, y equals 2x minus 2. This one, again, still trying to do parallel, it says. So this is not in the right form, so I need to get it in that form, y equals mx plus b, so I can tell the slope. So I need to first minus x from each side. Can be get left with negative 5y equal negative x plus 7. Get the y by itself, I need to divide everything by negative 5. I get y equals, negative divided by negative will be positive x fifths, oops, should be a minus there, minus 7 fifths. And again, this is the part I'm concerned with. What is the slope? Well, remember, what's numbers in front of an x not written, really a 1, so my slope is 1/5. So m is 1/5, and it's parallel, so it's going to be that same slope. So I'm going to use that with this ordered pair. 3 equals 1/5 times 2 plus b. So 3 equals, this would be like 2 over 1, 2/5 plus b. So I need to subtract 2/5 from each side. You can do this a couple of ways. Hopefully you know that 3 minus 2/5, let's come over here and think of this, minus 2/5. You can really borrow and think of 5/5, so it'd be 2 3/5. So that's one way to do it. 2 3/5, look like 3, but it is, equal b. All right. Another way to do it would be to say 3 minus 2/5. I want this to think of over 1, and I want it to be over 5. So what would I multiply 1 by? 15. 15 minus 2/5 would be 13/5. And I do want to change this 2 3/5. Like I said, it doesn't look like a 3 back and down here, but I don't think I can make it look any better. Would be 13/5. So that's how I'm going to write it in my answer. So y equals, my slope, remember, that I found was 1/5 x, and then plus 13/5. So that's how I'm going to write my answer. So you need to be able to work with fractions still. Now we're going to switch gears and talk about perpendicular lines. So remember, those are opposite reciprocals. So what's the opposite reciprocal of negative 6? So the opposite would be positive. Reciprocal of 6 is 1/6. So that's going to be my new slope. I'm going to use that with this. So 3 equals 1/6 times negative 2 plus b. 3 equals, again, 1/6, and I know it's going to be negative, so I'm going to forget my sign. Think of 2 over 1. You can cancel, and you end up with 1/3. So minus 1/3 plus b. So I need to add 1/3 to both sides. And this would be 3 1/3 equals b, but I am going to change it to an improper fraction. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, so 10/3 equal b. So y equals 1/6 x plus 10/3. So hopefully the fractions aren't giving us too much difficulty. And again, in this one, slope-intercept form, and we want it to be perpendicular. So we need to get it in the form y equals, so we need to minus 8x from each side. And I get 4y equals, a little bit better, 4, negative 8x, I do want that to be first, plus 15. So I'm going to have to divide everything by 4. Get y equals negative 2x plus 15/4. I don't really care what this is over here. So this is what I'm interested in. So again, I'm doing perpendicular, so what's the opposite reciprocal of negative 2? Well, it's going to be positive 1/2. So that is going to be my new slope, 1/2. So I'm going to use that with this ordered pair. So negative 1 equals 1/2 times 5 plus b. Negative 1 equals, again, think of 1/2 times 5 over 1. That would just be 5/2 plus b. So I need a minus 5/2. You can think of that as 2 1/2 if you want, or I'm just going to go ahead and work with fractions. So I am really adding the 2 since it becomes plus negative. So how do I write 1? And then I got down here 5/2. I want this to be over 2. Well, it's the same as 2 over 2. So 5/2 plus 2/2 would be negative 7/2. And again, if you want to change this to negative 2.5 plus negative 1, that'd be negative 3.5, and then change it back. So I don't really care. I'm not sure if all of you understand the fractions, but that's what it should be. So my slope was 1/2 x minus 7/2 would be my final answer. So again, important to be able to work with